There are billions of stars in the universe, in an amazing variety and diversity, and our Lord has named every single one of them. Stars are also found in an enormous variety of sizes. Here again we can catch a glimpse of the glory of the Creator. In our daily lives, it's difficult to perceive the size and scale of the universe. The Earth alone is far bigger than we can really comprehend. Even though there are roughly 7 billion people in the world, the Earth is so big that every person in the world could fit into the state of Texas with more than 1,000 square feet per person. But even at that size, the Earth is small compared to Jupiter, and Jupiter is far smaller than our Sun. Our Sun is so big that you could fit over 1 million Earths inside of it. Yet the Sun is small compared to Sirius A, which is a brilliant blue-white star, the brightest star we can see in the sky. But even Sirius is dwarfed by orange giants like Pollux, Arcturus, and Aldebaran. And even these giants are tiny compared to such stars as Rigel, Antares, and Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse is as wide as 1,180 suns, but even Betelgeuse is dwarfed by the supergiant stars, including VY Canis Majoris, the largest star we know of so far. For perspective, here's a comparison of our Sun to VY Canis Majoris. The variety and sizes of stars are enough to humble us before our Creator. But we should also consider how vast is the space in which God has placed them. Let's take an imaginary tour of the cosmos, starting at our Sun. Let's say you started at midnight on January 1st. And let's also say you could travel on a beam of light as it left the Sun. If the planets were lined up correctly, you could visit them as you traveled outwards into the solar system. In about 3.5 minutes, you'd reach Mercury, the smallest planet in the solar system. It's even smaller than some of the moons of the other planets. Your next stop is the planet Venus, which you would reach at about 6 minutes after midnight. Venus is sometimes called the morning star because it can shine so brightly in our sky. It's also called Earth's sister planet because some of its characteristics are similar to Earth's. You wouldn't reach the Earth itself until more than 8 minutes after you left the Sun. Even though you're traveling at a blistering speed, 186,000 miles per second, you're starting to see how vast the solar system is. You'd pass Mars at about 12 minutes after midnight, maybe seeing both of its moons as you went by. By now, you're starting to notice that the planets get farther and farther apart as you continue deeper into the solar system. Your next stop is the planet Jupiter, the majestic king of our solar system, so much larger than the Earth. You wouldn't reach it until more than 41 minutes past midnight. As you go by, you reflect on the fact that the secular model says that Jupiter shouldn't exist. At about 1:15 in the morning, you'd pass Saturn and admire its glorious rings. The secular model says Saturn shouldn't exist either, but of course it does. At about 2:30, you'd reach Uranus, the mysterious planet that rolls along on its side as it orbits the Sun, instead of spinning like a top, which is what the secular model predicts. As with Jupiter and Saturn, the secular model says Uranus shouldn't be there either. The last planet you'll visit before you leave the solar system is Neptune. You wouldn't reach it until 4 a.m. Again, you see a planet which the secular model says shouldn't exist, but it does. By this point, you'd have traveled about 2.8 billion miles, an incomprehensible distance. At this vast distance, the Sun appears to be just another star among many. The Earth itself has shrunk to a mere dot, as you see in this famous photograph taken from the Voyager 1 spacecraft as it left the solar system. That tiny point you see suspended in a sunbeam is our home. As you leave the solar system, heading for the nearest star, hours pass, and then days, then weeks, then months, then years. Even the closest stars are still so distant that it's difficult to perceive your motion, even though you're traveling at the speed of light. On May 15th of the 5th year, you finally arrive at Alpha Centauri A and B, the stars that are our next-door neighbors in space, and you still haven't left our local neighborhood within the Milky Way. If you were to travel across the entire Milky Way galaxy, even traveling through space at the speed of light, you would need 100,000 years just to get across. For perspective, If the sun were the size of a period printed on the page of a book, the Milky Way galaxy would be the width of the continental United States. To visit the Andromeda galaxy, the closest large galaxy to us, you would have to travel 2.5 million years, and you still wouldn't have left the local group, the small neighborhood of galaxies that we live in. This beautiful galaxy, called M101, or the Pinwheel Galaxy, would take you about 25 million years to reach. And notice that far beyond it, there are many more galaxies. Beyond these, there are countless more. Billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars. Our Milky Way galaxy is part of the Virgo supercluster, which contains thousands of galaxies. To travel from one side of our supercluster to another at the speed of light would take 110 million years. And this is only one supercluster out of millions of superclusters in the observable universe. Such a universe is beyond our understanding. We can observe it, but we can't truly comprehend it. As the psalmist said, "Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain unto it." Yet for the Lord, creating all this required no effort. The book of Genesis notes that on day 4, he made the stars also, as if they were made casually, almost as an afterthought. As Christians, we sometimes hesitate to pray to God. We ask him about large things, but sometimes we feel uncomfortable asking about small things. But to our Creator of infinite glory, they are all small things. For our Lord, it took no more effort to create 10 to the 22 stars than it did 1.